How's everybody doing? I'm really excited to be out in front of everyone, talk a little bit about who we are as a brand, talk a little bit how we're using the programs to benefit what we're doing as an industry, and then also just kind of streamline communication. I'll give you guys a second to kind of just walk through this video a little bit with us. This is one of a new locations, a Marlin Bar location that we actually just opened up in Las Vegas, over by the new Raiders Stadium. We had the opportunity to bring everybody out from the safety culture side to experience some of the food, some of the drink. They really weren't looking forward to it. We really had to drag them along to, get them to try the tacos and all the Mai Tais, but it ended up going up pretty well. So one way I want to start this, or at least ask a general question, is how many of you have actually heard of Tommy Bahama or been in a Tommy Bahama before? If I can get a raise of hands.
Oh, we got quite a few.
Pretty good. Okay. So when you heard Tommy Bahama, how many of you thought the shirts my dad wears? Fair. Okay. So usually that's something I get a lot when I tell my family members, friends, anything like that I'm working at Tommy Bahama. Is like, oh, that's what, those are the shirts, those are clothes my parents wear. And I'm not going to lie, my dad was super excited when he figured out I got a job at Tommy Bahama, so he could use the discount. But I'm excited to talk to you guys a little bit about what we do as a company. We started in 1993, Tony Margolis and Bob Enfielder, two married couples that would used to travel or vacation down in Naples once a year. And at the end of that vacation, each time they didn't want to leave, right? And eventually this turned into creating a persona of what would Tommy do, right? What would Tommy wear? The Figment character who always lived as if life was one long weekend. And when that started in 1993, that phrase, life is one long weekend, it stuck, right? And that's something that we have built our company, the decisions we make, the culture that we have created, the style that we still continue to create, and what we want our guests to feel as they exit or enter any one of our locations. Since then, we have created a total immersive island lifestyle. We offer clothing for women, men, children, various locations throughout the country, from Hawaii to Key West to South Florida, all the way up into Boston, Massachusetts. We have phenomenal Mai Tais. I can speak to that from a personal testimony. Some of the safety culture individuals can as well. It's been great. And I'll turn it over to Ashlyn to talk a little bit more about the organizational structure.
Sure. So right behind us is kind of a field map of all of our stores. I'm just going to kind of break down how our field structure works for you guys. So Marshall and I are based out of the corporate office. I'm our senior retail ops manager, and Marshall is our quality and training manager. Out in the field, we have one store director, and then from there it breaks out into regional managers. So we have 3 retail RMs and we have 3 restaurant RMs. And then from there we have 3 retail district managers. Right now, since Marlin Bar is a semi-new concept of ours, we only have 1 Marlin Bar DM. And these people oversee over 146 locations, and we have an average headcount of around 20 associates per store. And with the expansion of our Marlin Bar program, we are going to have Marlin Bar RMs and eventually more Marlin Bar DMs. And then out of the corporate side, we're kind of broken up by category. So we have the retail ops team, we have the restaurant ops team, and then we have our quality and training team, which is Marshall and his team.
When we're talking about organizational structure, one thing I would like to say is, as we briefly roll through this, we have about 2,500 employees that make up our field leadership team, or our field team in stores. One thing that, as over the course of yesterday into today, one thing that resonated a lot with me as I heard some phenomenal people speak is the importance of those that are around you, right? The individuals that walk in your store, your customers, so to speak, and the employees that work for your company. Employees and customers are 2 words you'll never hear a Tommy Bahama employee say, because we refer to our customers as guests. Right? When somebody walks into our store, they are our guest. We want that experience to be as if you were inviting somebody into your home, right? So that's a major culture point that from day one that you onboard with the company through the final days as you grow, as you develop within the company, it's always a guest mentality. And then as you look from shoulder to shoulder, the individuals that make up your district, your region, those are your team members. Right? Those aren't employees. Those are people that you communicate with, that you work together, and your success is built off of a one-team mentality. I cannot say enough how often we refer to our guests and our one-team mentality anytime we roll out something new or we talk about a direction as we move into a promotional or holiday season. So it's always been a experience-based economy or an experience-based event anytime we go into a store. And it looks like we got more of our notes back, which is awesome. So speaking a little bit more about the guest experience, Marlin Bars, which is the new location that we've just opened up in Vegas, is something that has been a huge success factor for us. A lot of you who have been in stores know that it's primarily a retail location. A lot of you that have gone shopping in malls that don't actually want to go shopping would love to just sit down and maybe have a bite to eat or a drink. Welcome to the Tommy Bahama Marlin Bar. It's an opportunity for you to sit down, not only dress for an upcoming vacation, get a full new total outfit wardrobe, but to also sit down, have a bite to eat, fish tacos, anything like that, while also getting those cocktails, right? And it's a really, really fun way to pass time and waste time. And then also from the guest experience, one thing that we've realized that's very, very different in terms of most other retail locations, our guest usually spends about an hour to an hour and a half in our store every time they enter our store. We do know a lot of different types of retailers are losing guests to online shopping. Tommy Bahama has stayed really, really strong in terms of still getting guests or still getting that traffic coming into our doors because of the experience that we provide and the experience that we have built our company upon, which is something that we have been able to leverage, teach, and share with iAuditor and Edapp as we train our employees.
All right, so I'm going to pick up from there. I'm just going to talk a little bit about our people and our team development. So on the screen behind us, you'll see the Best Customer Service of 22 award. We were just awarded that by Newsweek for Best Customer Service in Apparel Retail. So we're super pumped about that. And of course, we wouldn't be where we are without our people. We're really committed to our associates and place an emphasis on their continued learning and development. Right now, we're really focusing in on career pathing, and we have dozens of success stories internally of our employees going from like a stock associate in stores all the way up to the district manager level. We really emphasize that internal growth and want to make sure our employees, feel empowered and motivated and, that they have room to grow within our company. So to kind of touch on how our retail side and our restaurant side kind of comes together, it requires effective training on both sides of the business. So currently, we only allow our internal retail or restaurant store managers to join our Marlin Bar MIT program. And what this Marlin Bar MIT program is they train on the side of the company that they don't have a background in. So if I came as a retail store manager, I would train now on the restaurant side, or vice versa, depending on which side you came from. And then within 6 months to a year, you're going to move into that general manager position of our Marlin Bars. And we do plan on opening 5 new Marlin Bars a year for the next 5 years, so that's 25 new locations. We have a lot coming your way. And we're just going to kind of touch on how iAuditor and Edapp helps us achieve this operational excellence and, training for all these different aspects of the business. So we identify areas of opportunity through our district manager and regional manager audits. We have 3 different types of audits now that we really focus on. So number 1 being our sales and service audit. We go based on fiscal weeks, so week 1 through 3, we're really focused just on sales and service. And this audits anything to fitting room experience, to how guests are greeted and welcomed into the store, how are we interacting with guests at the POS system, things like that. The 4th week, we focus on our operations, so how our store is following the policies and procedures that we set. And are they, following all the rules and performing all of the kind of like back-end tasks that we need them to do to make sure we're operating excellently. And then lastly, we have a loss prevention audit, which is just kind of focusing on internal external shrink in the stores. So we kind of track these failed items weekly through the iAuditor analytics, and we kind of look for trends of where our stores are kind of lacking across the board. And then we build store communications and directions around these pain points through Edapp training modules, which Marshall is going to touch on, and some other internal store communications. So we're going to be able to utilize rapid refresh on the Edapp side to kind of address these issues that we're seeing across the board quickly. So just to give you guys some numbers, the last 30 days we had 40 inspections in our store locations, and we had about 300 failed items, which is about 7 per store if you kind of break it down that way. So we were able to kind of grab like our top 3 pain points out of that, which is talking about, our external theft policy, stockroom organization, offering e-receipts at the POS, and then usually we could the goal is to kind of take these pain points and then Marshall would kind of turn those into trainings for our store teams. So it's using one of the platforms to kind of analyze trends and then using the other to teach on it and improve. So I'm going to pass that over to Marshall for Edapp.
So from an Edapp perspective, and I guess one way I want to start with this is how I was originally came into Tommy Bahama. Prior to working for Tommy, I worked for a company called Maui Jim that specialized in sunglasses, if anybody's ever heard of Maui Jim sunglasses. We sold our product through Tommy Bahama, and I had the opportunity to train, coach, develop, and help sell the Maui Jim product up and down the East Coast within Tommy Bahama locations. So it was an opportunity for me to fall in love with the brand, to fall in love with the employee, to fall in love with the guest, and really buy in to what that company had to offer and what the products that Tommy carries has to offer, and just a lot of opportunity. So as I had as the position that I'm currently in, which it did not exist before I moved into it, when it came open, it was such a rewarding opportunity, a rewarding experience to be considered as one of the individuals that move in and train all of our retail team, our guest services team, our restaurant team from Hawaii all the way to Florida. I mean, literally across the company, and having a reach that touches that much. There's a lot of pressure that goes into that because you really don't want to drop the ball or screw that up because you got a lot of people pointing a finger at you, which would not be fun. But luckily, we have Edapp, and that's one thing that has made the ability to get information and content out to everyone within the stores that much easier. We started our journey with Edapp in the last couple months. We'd been with iAuditor for a long time and then learned about this training opportunity, this training program that they were providing, and we jumped all over it, right? As we've gone through and getting the content or getting 2,500 retail individuals logged into Edapp, which started officially Labor Day weekend. We've phased it out to the last retail region about a week and a half ago, and we're already at an 89% adoption rate, which is unbelievable. We've already had about a 30% completion rate of all the courses we had created once we rolled it out to all of our stores. One thing also that I noticed as I've been here yesterday, today, is the way I interpreted it or the way I used Edapp was, I think, even a little bit more broad or different than it originally intended. Because how it complements with iAuditor, obviously, is to perfect operation systems, right? Perfect safety. To me, I also saw it as a phenomenal opportunity to perfect sales, perfect how we treat the guest, perfect how we grow and develop as individuals when we're moving through it within our company, or if we ever leave our company, right? The goal for me as I'm creating content is to provide something phenomenal to every guest that walks into our store, and then to help every employee or every retail employee that we have, because they're part of our team, right? If I can give you life skills, if I can build courses that make you better as an individual, then that's what we should all be trying to do, right? That is the concept of training, right? I will say, as we've gone through the last month and a half, we've had a great buy-in by everyone in our team because it's been something that every team member has been asking for and needing. And then coming from that Maui Jim side and really knowing that product so well, and then moving into Tommy Bahama, was the old training program that Tommy had was that very slow LMS system. You go through a ton of slides and it takes 2 hours to really learn about anything. Was to utilize Edapp at exactly what you need it to be straight to the point and exactly what the employee needs to know and what the guest wants to know, right? At the end of the day, that's what we should be providing our employee and what we should be providing from an information standpoint as we talk to the guest. And I can't also obviously thank the teams that we've worked with from Safety Culture and Edapp and iAuditor, because I have no background in graphic design. I have no background in anything computer related, and they have basically given me a whole new degree and taught me so much, which has been amazing. And at the end of the day, it's what provides the best product to our employee, right? Which is my goal. And then also that integration, right? To constantly be communicating with our stores to make sure the training that we are creating is effective. That was also one thing that Edapp allowed me to utilize is provide a lot of feedback or receive a lot of feedback from our store employees on what I'm creating, if that makes sense, if that is worth your time, if that's something you guys need to know. And then also just diving in on some of the other benefits and features like those QR codes and access links that get the information to our employees quickly. That's all I have. But I know we have a little bit of time. I don't know if we want to do any types of questions. No? All right. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you so much, Molly, Dylan, and Bailey, for all your help.
Thank you.